I felt it was such a surreal honour to have been asked by Mercedes-Benz to come and race this beautiful 220 Fintail at the Nürburgring with David Coulthard that I went and bought myself a suit. You have massive experience around this track.
Yeah.
You've done what, 7 24-hour races?
Yeah.
And you've done 4 seasons of VLN. But
I don't even know what VLN is, but yep, I'll go with it.
So you've never driven around here before, have you?
Well, I have. I did a filming here a couple of years ago with Nico Rosberg. Well, actually he drove, but I was the scared passenger. And then, in 1990, I drove a Ford Escort Estate mechanics car around here in about 15 minutes or something. So I've done probably, I'd say, between 10 and 15 laps in my life around Nürburgring. And I don't play computer games, so it is only 10 or 15 laps.
I think you're a fantastic sport for turning up. They've made a special mod to the car. They've got an A4 map of the circuit, which you are going to use.
Should we take a look at that?
Yes, quickly, I think we should.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Beautifully presented. Now, if in doubt, just look at that.
What about the performance of the car? We've got 140 horsepower, and we've got about 1,400 kilograms. Do you think you can, is it going to be too much, or are you going to be able to handle it?
I'll be honest with you, I've not thought about it one iota until this moment. But what I do hope is that the horn works, because we've got this beautiful big...
No, the horn's on the dash. Look, you see the horn button on the dash? They've moved it, it's race spec.
Okay.
There's also been some interesting nationalism going on, because David's Union Jack from yesterday has been changed to, look, the Scottish flag.
By special request. I tweeted a picture, and I got a lot of response, people asking that I can get your autograph, because you're a bit of a big deal, so I have to ask for your autograph. And the other thing is, some people were pointing out that I had the Union Jack rather than the Tyre, which technically, being a British person, it should be okay.
Oh, you need to be careful. Are you allowed to drink beer between stints?
It's mandatory.
I can't wait for this.
Good luck.
Cheers. Now, Gert here is the man responsible for this beautiful creation behind me, 220 Fintail. Gert, for starters, let's be honest, it wasn't a racing car in period, was it?
Not really a racing car, it was let's call it a rally car. We did some long distance rallies with the car, but we moved quite quickly from the 220 to the 300, because already at that time they realized there wasn't too much power in the engine.
Yeah.
So, but in the early 60s they raced or rallied with a car like that.
Okay, and this particular example is one that you've made yourselves, isn't it, for Mercedes Classic. How many years ago was this car made?
We started 3 years ago. It was a standard car in our collection, and we alterated it to a car like this now, here in front of you.
It's got a massive structure in it. I'm really impressed at how big the cage is.
Yep.
So, and that's all fully welded in, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how much weight does that add? It looks like a lot of metal.
Okay, we took the seats out and things like that, so the weight is more or less the same. We have round about 1,400 kilogram, full tank, and that was safety regulations, so we definitely went for that, and we put all the safety things in which are necessary nowadays.
Power, how much have we got, 140?
Close to it, yeah.
On a good day?
On a good day, yeah. And a good driver.
At sea level, with 0 degrees?
Yeah. We will 135 to 140.
Okay, so what's your advice for me coming into the Fuchsrohrer? Is it wide open all the way down, do you think, and then up the other side?
I think the secret will be to keep the car just rolling, because the power isn't too much, yeah? So just keep it rolling. Yeah.
1,400 kilograms. So what year was it built originally?
1963.
So 63, that was a heavy car, wasn't it? Because it was, Mercedes of this era were built like no other car, weren't they? The quality is immense. When you look around it now, it just feels so heavy and of such good quality.
But I think it's different to nowadays. Nowadays you have so much power in these cars. In the 60s or the 50s it was a normal standard car which you could use for normal roads. Yeah. It was sufficient.
Reliability, I presume this can just go on and on and on, can't it?
Knock wood. So far we didn't have any problems. Hopefully it will be the same tomorrow.
Tyre is a Dunlop?
It's a Dunlop tyre, yes.
Yeah.
A race tyre, let's say. We have to use it for that kind of race here, because Dunlop was the sponsor last year, and it's part of the game to use it.
And I suppose the suspension setup is quite important for me as well. You've got a more modern spring and damper
Yes.
on there, haven't you?
That's mainly the only thing what we alterated compared to the old days. We put a modern damper system in.
I can't wait to drive it. I think the colour is stunning. You even know the paint code number, which is
140, it's light grey. That
Remember
was
that?
the original code from
anyone
that time.
anyone's got a C-Class that wants a gorgeous matte colour, that is the colour. It's utterly beautiful. Thank you for letting me drive it.
Perfect, hope you have fun.
Thank you, cheers.
Okay.
I've got guys in cars like that trying to slipstream me and come out, and I'm like, you know, they go past so fast. You think, what are you doing?
I mean, and also they come by
Yeah.
they just don't pay anything.
Yeah. Initially, that was up there. It was possibly the most scary things I've ever done. And then after about probably a quarter of a lap, I thought, you know, actually, if it goes wrong, it's going to go much more wrong for them than it is for me.
I mean, you're in a tank.
Ah, very entertaining. I had to giggle as I was going round.
How? I asked the right question. How slow is she?
Let's put it this way. You know the climb up to the airplane before you go to the carousel? You have to chip down.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
It just gets down to 3,500 RPM and fourth.
So you give it a quick.
So down to third, and then it's revving a bit, but it just feels better. So let's just say she's not a climber.
Fantastic. Oh,
I forgot my mobile. Got my phone. Anyway, I only got halfway through my email. It's really annoying because it's not enough straights.
brakes? What's the braking force? Sorry.
It locks up immediately, so basically you just can't brake hard. If you push the brakes like that, front axle just goes
Completely.
yeah, it locks up now.
Steering?
So there is a steering.
Is it?
It's a sort of a floating edge.
Do you feel like you have any connection between that wheel?
Yeah, actually it's pretty benign. It's got understeer if you really wanted to.
Did you
Actually,
make it oversteer?
oh, did I? Are you serious? Oversteer will come just before impact. We are by some margin the slowest car in the straight line. Minis are coming past like Formula 1 cars on speed.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't think it'd be that bad.
Well, think again. Think about the slowest thing you've ever driven. Golf buggy, perhaps.
And it's slower.
Yeah. No, we are by some way the slowest.
But we're in a class of 3 cars apparently.
Prepare yourself for third.
So within the pace is about 14 minutes. 14 minutes. That's a bit slower than I thought it was going to be. But this looks going to be fun.
maximum?
150, 160.
Okay.
Maybe 150, even with a good run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
It's really good when you're going downhill. It's great going downhill. Uphill, not quite so good, but downhill, it's good. It's good. This is the harsh reality of motorsport now. We've had the jazz hat, lovely, enjoyable stuff earlier this morning, and now I'm sat stock last on the grid. I don't know where we qualified because we don't really care about the time, but I've got a lot of cars ahead of me, and you might notice that Champagne Coulthard has decided not to take the start, citing reasons of not quite understanding how it all works, a bit complicated. In reality, knowing it's much easier to do the second stint because you just jump in the car and out, and I've got to do the green flag lap that's all slow and the start procedure. So you don't become a Formula 1 driver without having a bit of guile about you. I can see him strolling down the pit lane now, so we'll give him some banter.
Yeah, a long walk. So, can I deduce from this that we were slowest in qualifying? Is that what this means?
Yeah, I saw the data comparison with the BMW, and it wasn't pretty.
That's our competition.
I think we're 20 seconds off them.
Well,
Genuinely 20 seconds off them.
Well, they're clearly cheating, aren't they?
They must be. But they had a laptop attached to their computer, to their car, which is not fair.
Yeah. So, it looks like it's got racing tyres on. But these things look like they come off the back of a caravan.
I think it's going to be a bit of an ordeal of an afternoon, but we're going to get there. We're racing for moral reasons and nothing more.
Well, we're either going to get there or it's going to get to us. One of the two. I think the checker flag will come up and tickle our arse. As opposed to be waved at our nose.
I've never been here before and had someone say to me, do you want to do a 3 or 4 lap stint? It's normally like around 8 or 9, it's not 3 or 4.
Yeah.
The green flag lap at the Nürburgring takes about as long as most normal motor races. The main problem being that I couldn't always keep up with the others as they warmed their tyres. Remember, this is a historic race for old, valuable vehicles, so naturally the leaders got into a tangle on the first straight, a lovely Porsche RSR was smeared down the pit wall, and we all had to do another lap for the red flag. So that was 40 minutes running before the race had started, and the onboard GoPro cameras were both out of my reach and running down rather fast. Then came the second restart, but before that another green flag lap, so by the time we crossed the line to start the race we'd been going for well over an hour. The first lap was hilarious. We gamely managed to squeeze past a few stragglers on the first few corners, but my main worry was not having any footage for this video now that the only camera still running was facing me. So, on the long uphill section, which the old girl takes a fair while to climb, I effected a small camera angle change so you could see the dice I had with the more powerful 300 Fintail. It was like everything was happening in slow motion. And then the quick stuff started to lap us, which was bloody terrifying. Then I had this lovely line astern piece down the main straight with the other man in the Fintail. Just check out his crazy face. And after all that, well, then I handed the car over to David, and his stint, yeah, that lasted about 15 seconds.
Anything I need to know?
He's just stopped. It's not great news, is it?
Hi, you must be strong with your gear changes. What have I done? You handed me a dud. Fucking, I went to second gear, the gearbox.
You're joking.
No?
So that's your gearbox?
It's gearbox, there's a lot of oil pissing out the back of it. I know, this is. I know how to treat an old girl, but
that car was
obviously,
absolutely fine when I brought it back in. Absolutely fine, and you've shagged it in one gear change.
I only got to the end of the pit lane. How can I possibly have broken the car
It
in one gear change?
only takes one gear change.
What, to lose all 4 gears?
Yes.
Cheers.
I apologise, that makes me look culpable. I think we have to have a post-mortem after that. Obviously, post-mortems are undertaken drinking Bitburger, bitter ein Bit. David, I have to ask you bluntly, how did you manage to break the car in 200 yards?
Well, this is just between us, isn't it?
Yes.
I saw your lap times, and I thought, there's no way I can go a minute faster than I went in practice. So there was the only thing I could do to save any sort of face as an ex-professional racing driver was to limit the amount of time I spent on track. I planned to break it halfway around the Grand Prix track, but actually I'm just so good at breaking cars. I managed to break it before I got to turn 1. So credit where it's due. You know, you were amazing out on track. I'm just incredible at breaking gearboxes, and unfortunately we're left here drinking beer while someone else is out there picking up the trophy.
Much as I'd love to endorse what you've just said, it seems highly unlikely that David did break the car in 200 yards. Talented though he is at smashing stuff up. I've got messages. Martin Whitmarsh actually just says he's a car breaker. Always a car breaker.
Yeah.
So I obviously have to take some of the blame probably, but it's a solid rear axle, so it doesn't have, there's no half shaft, no, it's a solid rear axle, and something's gone pop and a hole's been punched out of it.
It was an impressive hole.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just sort of a drip.
There's no graze underneath the casing though, have you seen that? There is no evidence of the fact that I've hit anything.
I didn't go looking for that because I never doubted you for a moment, but technically speaking, as broken gearboxes go, this is a gusher. There was like serious hole in the back.
Did you have to get out and push it at all or not?
Thankfully, on the rundown, for those aficionados who know Nürburgring, turn 1, it sort of rolls downhill into the braking zone. So although I stopped halfway out the pit lane between here and turn 1, I was able just to switch off and coast gently down past a bunch of bemused marshals and photographers, thinking, he's taking it very cautious, isn't he? That must be one of those new electric cars, historic electric cars. They probably thought it was steam driven, and it was only when I went round the corner and kept turning right rather than going left that they realised that I was actually retiring.
I wonder how quick you'd have gone. I mean, you obviously would have gone quicker than me because you'd have got the circuit nailed in about 2 minutes flat.
Well, I don't like to say I was sandbagging, but in the absence of actually getting to the end, I got you a prize. You get to pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo. They're obviously popped out of the same mould.
I'm not even going to comment on what I'm looking at or where the evening's going to develop.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I think I owe you an apology because basically I did an hour and a half in it before you got in it, and it didn't work pretty much when you got in it. Although it was fine when I came down the pit lane, and there was no oil on the ground. So
I went and had a look for that. I went and there was no dribble. That is absolutely the case. I can concur with that. You don't owe me an apology at all. I had a couple of laps this morning, which was fun. Actually, I'm not as scared of the ring now as I used to be. The ring used to scare the bejesus out of me, but now I realise that it's all nicely groomed. I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to do the ring again. Would you teammate with me again?
I would. Obviously, the level.
What do we call it? Do we call it going ringing or something?
The level of double entendre that's being delivered here is almost too much even for me to deal with, and I'm a consummate professional. So yes, there is a well-kent ring out there. But but I think it's unfinished business, and I do think you probably got off quite lightly, because when I was on that first lap, you have a look at the onboard. It honestly, it's like one of those scenes in the first when you first saw Star Wars, and they're in some X-fighter battle. Because I'm doing 75 miles an hour, and there's just Porsches.
I know
like
from
this,
practice, it was frightening. Like looking at the mirrors and trying to watch what's going on in front. There were so many fast cars. So I think if we come back again, and we're teammates, I think we should request a faster car. It doesn't matter if it doesn't handle in the corners. I think we just need more straight line speed.
Well, I think they might have something in the skunk works they might be doing. They might have mentioned. So maybe we can persuade them to do that. It was a serial honour. Can we now go and have a few beers, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Well driven, by the way.